Physical constants in the universe deviate by a factor of 1 in a million, a small deviation, but large enough to suggest that reality is a code and that this code makes mistakes. You want to escape the simulation. But the problem is, the moment you try to escape, the system detects you and pulls you back. You are acting as part of the system. But what if you didn't try to escape? In this video, I will give you a 7-day hacking protocol. After 7 days, the system will try to pull you back. But if you touch the right places, it can be permanent, because reality is already breaking. You will find the breaking points. Watch to the end and take this information and use it. Part 1. 3 points where the system collapses. Now let me tell you a theory. The theory of reality simulation. But think of it in a technical sense, not a mystical one. If reality is a simulation, there is a code. Because the code is written, it makes mistakes. There are errors, there are glitches, and these glitches are where the system collapses. Now the question is, how do you find these breaking points? Answer: you see them every day, but you dismiss them as coincidences. These coincidences are actually system errors. Point 1. Synchronization error. Example: you're thinking about someone. 10 minutes later, that person messages you. You say, "What a strange coincidence." But think technically. 2 independent events, you thinking about them messaging you, happen simultaneously. The probability is very low, but it happens. Why? Because the system runs code to synchronize the 2 events. However, this code is sometimes triggered too early. They decide to message you before you think about them. But because the system works with a delay, you feel that you thought about them first. This is a synchronization error. It's a system error. And this error tells you something. There's a disconnect here. Point 2. Déjà vu. Crash second. Disconnect. Déjà vu. The feeling of, this has happened before. Everyone experiences it. But most people call it a brain illusion. But what if it's not? What if it really has happened before? Technically, déjà vu is a memory loop. The system processes the same memory twice. The first time, in the background. The second time, in the foreground. And when you experience it the second time, the memory from the first time is still there. The result? The feeling of, this has happened before. But actually, the system ran the same code twice. It crashed. And you felt that crash. That's the déjà vu crash. The second breaking point. And that point tells you the system is making a mistake in the timeline. Point 3. The lucky moment anomaly. The third breaking point. Lucky moments. Have you ever had a lucky day? Everything went right. The traffic was green. Things went well. People were smiling. The probability of everything going right at the same time is very low. But it happens. Why? Because the system ran a positive probability package for you that day. It set all the events in your favor. But sometimes this package works too strongly, and everything becomes too easy. That's the moment of chance, the anomaly, a probability error, the third breaking point. And these 3 breaking points show one thing. The system isn't perfect. It's breaking. And you can use these breaks. The concept of a breaking point map. Now consider this. If you can map these 3 breaking points where synchronization occurs, where déjà vu happens, where chance increases, you can read the system. And if you can read the system, you can manipulate it. Because you know the breaking points. In the second part, I will explain how to use these breaking points. Because every breaking point is a weakness. And every weakness is an opportunity. If you do what I say at the breaking points, you will have achieved what you want. If this information has helped you so far, please like the video and let's continue. Chapter 2: 3 System Weaknesses and How to Exploit Them. Weakness 1: Manipulation of time. Perception. First weakness: time perception. The system presents time as a continuous flow, but it isn't. Proof: sometimes 1 hour feels like 10 minutes. Sometimes 10 minutes feels like 1 hour. Why? Because time depends on your attention. Wherever your attention is, that's where time flows. And here's the exploit. If you control your attention, you control time. You can slow it down, speed it up. How to do it? There's a task that takes an hour. Normally, it takes an hour. But here's what you need to do. Before starting the task, change the time frame in your mind. Tell yourself, this task will take 20 minutes. Not out loud, but internally. Then start the task. But constantly return to the idea of 20 minutes. Every 5 minutes, you say 20 minutes. And something incredible happens. The task is completed in 30 to 35 minutes, not in an hour, because you've manipulated time. Here, the task is completed in 20 minutes. But if you don't give up and keep saying it, you continue to believe the job will be done. This might be to test your belief in moments like these. This isn't magic. This is exploiting the system's weakness in its perception of time. The system creates time according to your expectations. And you say 20 minutes, and it does it. Weakness 2: exploitation of the attention economy. The second weakness: the attention economy. The system constantly tries to distract you, because if you're distracted, you can't control it. But here's the exploitation. If I focus my attention on a single point, the system marks that point as important, and it allocates more resources to that point. Result: that point is reached. Faster, easier. How is it done? You have a goal. For example, finding a new job. Normally, you think about this goal 10 times a day, but this is irregular. Once in the morning, once at noon, once in the evening. But this is what you do. You only think about it once a day, but that one time, for 10 minutes, uninterrupted. You wake up in the morning. For 10 minutes, you focus on that task, how it is, where you work, how you feel, constantly. And then for the rest of the day, you don't think about it at all, only those 10 minutes. Result: because attention is focused, the system marks those 10 minutes as high priority, and it allocates resources to that goal. Within 1 to 2 weeks, opportunities related to that task begin to appear because the system is focused on that point. Weakness 3: invalidating the identity file. The system registers you in an identity file. It says, this person is like this, and sends events that match that identity. But here's the exploitation point. The identity file is loaded when you wake up in the morning, every morning from scratch. And in those first 60 seconds, you can modify that file. How? You wake up in the morning, you open your eyes, but you don't get up immediately. You wait 60 seconds. In those 60 seconds, you ask yourself, who do I want to be today? Not the you of yesterday, the you of today. Who do you want to be? An answer appears. A trustworthy person, a successful person, a calm person, whatever. You hold on to this answer. You feel this answer for 60 seconds, then you get up. And throughout the day, the system sends events that match this identity. Because the morning's file has been overwritten, the system has uploaded a new file. These 3 weaknesses are the easiest ways to compromise the system. But beware, the system repairs itself. It resets every day. That's why you have to start again every day. We only have one real day, and that is today. Every day is a new beginning. Every day, we complete the life within ourselves with the characters we create. Section 3. 7-Day Fault Protocol. Days 1 to 2. Identify breakpoints. The first 2 days are purely observational. You're looking for 3 breakpoints: synchronization, déjà vu, lucky moment. Note down each one you see, but just note it down. There was a synchronization at 2 p.m. today. That's it. No details, no commentary, no overthinking. At the end of the 2 days, you'll have a list. Maybe 3 to 5 breakpoints, maybe more. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you saw them. Days 3 to 4. Test the first vulnerability. On the 3rd and 4th day, choose a vulnerability, one of 3. Time, attention, or identity. Choose one, just one. Don't do all 3, because the system detects multiple changes simultaneously. Exploit this vulnerability for 2 days, every day in the same way, and observe. What changes? Small things. But it changes. If it doesn't change, keep going. You might be distracted. Days 5 to 6. Observe the system's reaction. Be careful on days 5 and 6. The system will try to take you back. How? Through old habits. You wake up one morning and forget to invalidate your identity, or you stop attention manipulation, or you don't use time manipulation. This is normal. The system tries to load the old file because the new file is not registered in the system, but you notice and you apply it again because noticing is already half the battle. Day 7. Persistent attack. The 7th day is a critical day. On this day, the system decides, should the new file be accepted or should the old file be restored? And you apply it with all your might. 3 exploits at once. Time, attention, identity, all of them. You wake up in the morning. Identity invalidation. You start the day. Attention manipulation. You find a job. Time manipulation. All 3. And in the evenings, you ask yourself, was today different? If the answer is yes, you succeeded. A permanent hack. The system accepted the new file. If the answer is no, it hasn't happened yet. Try again in a week. This is normal. Getting rid of your old self isn't easy, but it's possible. The important thing is to keep going without giving up. Final warning, risk of backward patching. But be careful. After 7 days, the system might send a patch, a self-healing patch, and it could revert you back to the old file. How do you avoid this risk? Consistency. Apply at least one exploit every day without stopping, because the system accepts constant change as the new normal. But when it stops, it sees it as a temporary glitch and sends a patch. At the end of these 7 days, you will notice something. The simulation is breaking down every day, but most people don't see it because they call it a coincidence. Now you will see it because you know where it broke down and you use those spaces. But the real question is, will the system take you back? The answer? Only if you allow it. Because the system works according to your decision. If you say, the old me, it will do that. If you say, the new me, that will happen too. And here's the biggest flaw. The system doesn't know what you want unless you tell it. So you have to say it every day. Who do I want to be today? Every day, because every day is a new file. And you write that file. If you like this video, write, I rewrote your file in the comments. I want to see how many people tried it. and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Because in the next video, I will explain the system's deepest weakness. And this weakness is much stronger than these three. Don't miss it. Thanks. It would be helpful to continue with any video that appears on the screen.